50K buyers. You might want to see that soft ass. Understand?
Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? So ever since Davis-Haney came out and said that they offered Gervonta $20 million, he turned it down, and Eddie Hearn came out as well and confirmed that they had a massive deal for Gervonta Davis to fight against Davis-Haney. There's been a lot of talk about Davis-Haney and Gervonta, but no one is really talking about making the fight. And I want to reiterate this point. Gervonta, so far, he hasn't been talking about catch weights, rehydration clauses, where the fight will take place. He hasn't even agreed to the fight as of now. So why do I see some people in my comment section passionately encouraging Gervonta Davis to take a rehydration clause? Don't move up to 140 and fight Devin. Why are they encouraging him not to take the fight? Why don't you see what Gervonta decides to do first before you try to encourage him to create stipulations that haven't even been created yet? With that being said, you guys heard in that clip that I just played, Gervonta Davis is talking about the projected or assumed pay-per-view numbers of the Davis-Haney versus Regis Prograis fight. If Davis-Haney did 10,000 buys or he did 100,000 pay-per-view buys, I don't understand. What does this have to do with making the Davis versus Haney fight? Because none of Davis's previous opponents had did 50,000 buys before they fought Davis, right? So Davis's pay-per-view buys is irrelevant, unless you just want to have an irrelevant debate over who is the face of boxing. Gervonta Davis is truly the face of boxing because Gervonta Davis, he does the biggest numbers. But this is the reason why he's being offered all of the money to take the fight. Now, the Haneys, they call Gervonta Davis the ex-face of boxing. But when it comes to this fight, they are accepting that Gervonta is going to be the A-side. This is not a Spence Crawford situation. There will be no problems when it comes to splits on money. This is the reason why DAZN is offering Gervonta a massive $20 million. Speaking of the $20 million, I've seen some people in my comment section saying that Davis-Haney is lying about that amount. He's lying about the $20 million. So I want to ask you this, just for conversation's sake. Let's say you truly believe that Davis-Haney is lying. But then Eddie Hearn, who represents DAZN, he comes out and he confirms that they have a massive deal for Gervonta Davis. Let's say you do believe that Davis-Haney is lying. If you were Gervonta Davis and you heard what Eddie Hearn said and you heard what Davis-Haney said, what would you do next? If you wanted to fight Davis-Haney, what would you do next? That's a question I really want you guys to answer in the comment section. Because I remember when Shakur Stevenson, he showed up at some kind of party that Davis-Haney was at. And he put up a sign, signed the contract. Now, the Haneys didn't believe that there was a contract out there. They believed that Shakur Stevenson putting that up was a complete lie because there was no contract. So do you guys know what the Haneys did after Shakur pulled that stunt? They went to the top rank office and talked to Bob Arum, and they asked Bob Arum, what's up with this contract that Shakur is telling us to sign? And Bob Arum said, I don't know what Shakur is talking about. My point is, the Haneys, they followed up on what Shakur was saying, regardless if it was true or not. So once again, it's okay if you believe that Haney was lying about the $20 million. There's nothing wrong with you saying that. But the question is, if you were Davis and you wanted to fight Davis-Haney, what would you do next after hearing what Davis-Haney said and what Eddie Hearn, who represents DAZN, said? Also, when you say you don't even believe the $20 million offer is real, does that mean you're saying that if it is a real deal, that Gervonta should take it? Because if you were Gervonta, you would have took it? Let's just do the math for a second, guys. Now, when it comes to Gervonta versus Ryan Garcia, Gervonta was guaranteed $5 million. That does not include what he made through pay-per-views. He made way more after the pay-per-view buys. If the $20 million offer stands, then that means he's going to be guaranteed $20 million, and then he's still going to make money off of the pay-per-view buys. And Gervonta is most likely going to get the bigger share of the pay-per-view buys. That means Gervonta Davis could make $70 million plus in this fight. Once again, guys, I want you to understand, Gervonta Davis and Leonard Ellerbe So far, which I'm gonna do a separate video on what Leonard Ellaby just said right after this video. But so far, none of them has said anything about catch weights, what weight class the fight is gonna be at, or rehydration clauses. They're not talking about that as of now. They're talking about pay-per-view buys. They're talking about Devin being broke. Gervonta is putting out posts saying that Davis-Haney is just his fan. He went from being his fan to his biggest rival. Gervonta is talking about Eddie Hearn contacting him. He's telling the Haneys, if you want to make the fight happen, contact the right people. So I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep asking the question. Why are you guys debating about things that Gervonta is not even talking about? Now, because I don't watch other videos at all, like I told you guys on previous videos, I get a lot of my information from friends and fans that send me news stories. You know, they send me what people are saying on Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. And I also pay attention to what you guys are saying in my comment section, or at least the first day I drop a video, because then once I get to the next video, I don't have time to go back looking too much at the old videos. So I say all of this to tell you guys that when I look at the comment section, I'm starting to get the impression that some of these fans, they feel that if you want to see this fight, that must make you a fan of Davis-Haney's. If you don't want to see this fight, I guess it means you're a fan of Gervonta's. This is how some fans are making it sound in my comment section. And if they're saying that in my comment section, then that means they're saying that all over the internet. So this is what doesn't make sense to me. I can understand a boxing fan not liking a boxer because he's a racist or something like that, because that's far more personal. But why would you personally dislike either Gervonta Tank Davis or Davis-Haney? Regardless if you feel Gervonta is avoiding Devin or Devin is avoiding Gervonta, why would it get so personal to where you personally don't like them? And this is something that really makes no sense. Some of these fans are not even black, and they're accusing fans of being a traitor for supporting the black fighter. Do you guys know how crazy that sounds? You will never see Mexican fans accusing another Mexican of being a traitor because he supports Canelo Alvarez, because he supports David Benavidez. You'll never see this in the Philippines. You never see this in any other country. You only see it in America, where a fan who's not even black can be so comfortable to diss the black fighter and then call black people traitors for supporting the black American boxer. Regardless of who you're rooting for the most when it comes to Gervonta or Devin, y'all gotta stop making these non-black fans feel so comfortable to diss black fighters just because they claim they have black friends or because they claim they support other black fighters. Something Ellie Setback does all the time. If you are not black, you will never be in position to accuse a black fan of being a traitor for supporting any black boxer. So when it comes to this whole situation with Gervonta Tank Davis and Davis-Haney, you already have the black American fans that are divided over this situation like Bloods and Crips. Then you have the racists that sneak in because they don't care about either one of these fighters realistically. A lot of them, they just hate the black fighter that they feel is the bigger threat on that pound for pound list. So there's a lot to this situation. You know, I want to share a story with you guys when it comes to Davis-Haney. When Davis-Haney had sparred against Shakur Stevenson years ago, I was there. I was the one that recorded it. At this time, Bill Haney, like a lot of people, weren't familiar with the internet when it comes to the boxing world. In other words, he didn't understand that his son was on the coincidental list. For those of you guys who don't know what the coincidental list is, it's a list of black fighters that are coincidentally all treated the same by the fans. At least when these black fighters are being compared to non-black fighters. The one thing that Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Tank Davis, and Davis-Haney all have in common is all of them had said at one point they feel they are the most hated boxer in the sport of boxing. We've seen how Floyd Mayweather was treated when he was at the top, how Andre Ward was treated, and how Terrence Crawford is being treated while he's at the top by non-black boxing fans. Regardless of their style in the ring, regardless if they have power, regardless if they get all knockouts, they have all been treated the same way by these fans in particular. So with that being said, when I first uploaded that sparring session, Bill Haney, he didn't like some of the comments. So he asked me to take the video down. And then he gave me the footage of the second sparring session. He wanted me to put that one up. Both sparring sessions are on my channel right now, so you guys can watch them if you've never seen them. Now, this is my point. Those sparring sessions were very competitive. They could have gone either way. It's not like anyone got their ass beat in that sparring session. So when Bill was talking about some of the comments in the comment section, I was explaining to him, these people are not saying these things because of how Devin performed. They're saying it because right now Devin is considered the bigger threat out of Shakur Stevenson and Davis-Haney. At that time, no one knew who Shakur Stevenson was, but they knew who Davis-Haney was because he trained at the Mayweather gym. He was making a name in the sport of boxing. So I was explaining to Bill Haney how things work on the internet. It doesn't matter how well Davis-Haney performs. Racist people are not going to like him because he is considered the bigger threat. I told him, those fans that are saying that, oh, Devin got his ass beat by Shakur, they're not fans of Shakur Stevenson. Because once Shakur Stevenson gets a big buzz and becomes a threat in the sport, these same fans are going to be treating him the exact same way. And soon as Shakur Stevenson went to the Olympics and lost in the gold medal match, those fans, those same fans that was dissing Davis-Haney when they were sparring, they were now dissing Shakur Stevenson. They were celebrating that Shakur Stevenson lost in the Olympics. They were laughing at him, crying. They felt that it was a victory for them to see Shakur Stevenson lose. A lot of people don't know this, but the amateur boxing system is extremely racist. And Kermel Moulton, he was dealing with the exact same type of hatred that Shakur Stevenson and Davis-Haney were dealing with. In fact, it was even worse for him in the amateurs because the fact that Kermel was already signed by TMT, he was expected to be the next big black superstar. So I had other boxers that were in amateur tournaments telling me how these racist fans would just boo Kermel Moulton every time he fought in one of these tournaments. But pay attention to the distinction. These are just racist fans. These are not real boxing fans. But my point is, coincidentally, these are the same fans that don't like Shakur Stevenson, don't like Davis-Haney, don't like Gervonta Tank Davis, didn't like Floyd Mayweather, and the list just goes on and on and on. So if you really pay attention to what's going on, you have this type of hatred that's coming from some black fans that are on some Bloods and Crips type stuff, and then you also have the other people. You have racist fans that are trying to piggyback off the Bloods or the Crips to diss one of these black fighters, but the truth is they're not going to support either one of these black fighters if they're fighting against someone that's not black. You know, I've noticed recently Davis-Haney, he's come out and he said some pretty wild stuff. He said things like, you know, Canelo is one of the GOATs, Tyson Fury is one of the GOATs. He said that Canelo Alvarez is pound for pound the best fighter in the world over Terence Crawford, despite the fact that Canelo Alvarez is recently coming off of a loss that he never even avenged. And Terence Crawford just beat Errol Spence, who was considered pound for pound one of the top 5 best fighters in the world in a fight that had been built for 5 years. And Davis-Haney said that Canelo was pound for pound #1 over Terence Crawford. Even old media has Terence Crawford pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now. What I notice is when people talk about how much they dislike Davis-Haney in my comment section, none of them ever talks about disliking Davis-Haney for saying things like that. So this is making no sense to me. If you're not going to like Davis-Haney on a personal level, you have no problem with him saying things like that. But you have a problem with him, what, calling out Gervonta Tank Davis? Or wanting to fight Gervonta? Or wanting to fight Gervonta at 140? It's not making any sense. I want to continue this conversation, but I got to go ahead and take care of some business. So I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, the fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to LODkey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.